What if I told you you could manifest a text message from your specific person in 13 seconds? Which I know on the surface you're like, Kyle, that that sounds way too crazy, way too good to be true. But it's actually something that happened. I'll even put up the success story. So I'll dive into the success story first because I know that's exactly what you want to do. And this happened from coaching, but then the video. So before before you leave this video and dive into the video that they mentioned in here that helped them manifest, I'm going to tell you exactly what they did in this video to create or be able to manifest that outcome really fast. So we'll dive into the success story. So, but I'm gonna I'm gonna tell you exactly how they did it. So they sent this screenshot of their specific person texting them, thinking of you always. Amazing, awesome. And they were, hey Cal, my SP, and I hadn't spoke in about a week. I turned on your video, and 13 seconds in, you say your specific person is thinking about you right now. I affirmed it immediately. Then 2 seconds later, he texted me, thinking of you always. So I guess it was technically 15 seconds. So but this was absolutely amazing. And then they put the video that they actually were watching where I was like, your specific person is thinking about you. But again, before you dive into that video, because I would definitely suggest watching it after, I'm going to go into exactly how or ways in which you're going to open up this reality to manifest in 15 or 13 seconds. Because the groundwork or almost the ideas need to just be laid before we're gonna see our reality change that quickly. But again, I'll put a link to the video because this was also someone I had been working with weekly before this point. But so the way that we're going to open up this reality or this outcome, because I'm sure maybe you've tried manifesting in 30 seconds, 24 hours before, and it didn't totally work for you. Well, the problem with these and how we almost need this groundwork to be laid is because if we're having unresolved past trauma with our specific person, then we're going to find that our mind can't really wrap around this idea of manifesting instantly right here and right now. And it actually produces something, and I know it's another big word from even from today's or yesterday's video called cognitive dissonance. So if in the past with your specific person, you had some past trauma or even in relationships, it doesn't have to be specifically with your SP, you had some unresolved past trauma. Cognitive dissonance is when we hold two conflicting ideas within our mind, meaning that we have a focus on the past. So we feel like something really negative happened with our specific person in the past or in relationships. But simultaneously, we want it to come into our reality instantly, right here and right now. But as you can see, this is going to cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of worry because your mind and your body, through the law of assumption, wants to exhibit and fulfill whatever we are assuming to be. So if within we're simultaneously feeling like relationships suck, but I want one in 13 seconds, what is our mind going to do? It's going to generate and just create a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry, a lot of stress, and then we're going to feel like we have to try really hard and put in a lot of effort to create exactly what we want. And there's a couple ways that we actually begin to almost justify or a way that we actually move around cognitive dissonance because obviously our mind doesn't want to stay in a state of anxiety or worry constantly, which sometimes it feels like that when we're manifesting. But the main one people do is avoidance. So when we have two conflicting ideas, so relationships are bad, but then also I want to manifest this relationship with my specific person, our mind will use this act of avoidance towards any situation that might resolve this conflict, which I know sounds funny. Well, I guess not resolve it, but will avoid anything that will have to do with this conflict. Meaning that we'll have actively, if you know where I'm going with this, we'll actively avoid manifesting our specific person as well. Because by putting a time and attention into it, we are thus going to create and feel like we are moving into something that is very stressful, very worrisome, and introduces a lot of anxiety. And so the way around this, because obviously you guys are like, how am I going to manifest in 13 seconds if I have this cognitive dissonance? Well, first we want to kind of not stop avoiding it. I'll tell you exactly what to do, because avoidance is also a self-sabotage idea. So a lot of us, when we are manifesting and we start to create something really, really awesome and amazing, we can begin to self-sabotage, meaning that our mind, again, is moving into this aspect of, this idea is causing me a lot of anxiety. I'm just going to avoid it. I'm not going to move towards it, which I know sounds strange because we think, well, wouldn't we want our specific person? Yes, but remember back to that cognitive dissonance where if you are perceiving a relationship as being very negative, very bad, but also you want it very much, kind of like in yesterday's video, we talked about changing the assumptions we have on our specific person. By doing this, your mind wants to avoid it because it's also something called a mixed neuroassociation, which you guys have probably heard me mention or state before, where your mind gives two values to the same idea, which again, in this case is our specific person is someone who gives us a lot of love, but simultaneously is the source of all of our anxiety, worries, and depression, right? How does that sound? I feel like that's usually, I know I felt that way before, but it's usually the case when we're manifesting, which is okay. And so I'll give you an example too of something that creates this cognitive dissonance outside of manifesting a specific person. And you'll see how it relates, because sometimes when we take our mind off of manifesting an SP, it begins to make a lot more sense. So this would be like investing in a loss. So let's say all my financial people out here explain it better, but imagine you're investing in something, your time, your energy into whatever it is, and you just think, and act like this isn't a good idea, right? It's just unwise to do this. Let's say you're investing in, I don't know, a stock or something, and it's just going down. Your mind thinks this is bad, this is horrible, I shouldn't be doing this. And so you're actively investing in this still, but your mind is like, but it's going bad and it's going horribly wrong. This creates discomfort and this cognitive dissonance. But remember, everything in your reality is a reflection of your assumption. So it's actually entirely an illusion that it's going poorly, right? And that you can't do anything about it. And so the idea or way out of this, especially if you anyone investing in a loss right now, it's not actually a loss. It's because we have anxiety and we have worries about the future, we're placing this idea on it. And I will say, honestly, this is something that actually happens when people are manifesting a specific person. And once they actually go around it and realize that it is totally an illusion, they manifest instantly. Like the people who go into manifestation, and again, we've all been here before, and think everything I'm doing is pointless. Everything I'm doing is for nothing. There's no point in this. My SP just still is not going to like me. Creates cognitive dissonance, okay? Where we feel like we want this thing, but we feel like everything we're doing is against it. Every single person who has changed their assumption on that idea has literally changed their reality overnight. And I'm being so serious about this because when you're investing in something, the cognitive dissonance is manifesting, or this discomfort. But if you begin to realize that everything is a reflection of you, you even at a very basis are placing a value upon stuff. So this loss, this investment loss, or our specific person is not bad. It's not going against us. It's not working against us. It's totally within your mind to say, this is happening in the positive or this is happening in the negative. It's literally up to you to say, this is good or this is bad. And then it's going to make your actions either align with it in the positive or align in the negative. Meaning, if you are in, let's say, this investment idea, if you're investing and you're assuming and creating positive outlooks, positive assumptions, your positive action is going to amplify it and you're going to get a positive return. Same thing with our specific person. If you are acting as a positive, right, creating and doing your affirmations, doing things like that to create a positive manifestation, and you think and assume it is positive, then both of these are in alignment and you create and manifest in the quickest amount of time. Now, again, that's like the cognitive dissonance. When these are going back and forth and are opposites, that's what actually begins to create problems in our reality, and we see the exact opposite. And so again, you might be asking, so how do we do this? I want to manifest in 15 seconds. And so here's what we're going to do. And there's just like a step-by-step process in which we're going to do this. So the reason that we have cognitive dissonance, especially towards our specific person, is that unresolved past trauma. So there's certain things that happened in the past that make you feel as if they are not good, but we still want a relationship with them. So we have to realize the not good things are totally made up and totally an illusion. So what we're going to use is something that is not new on this channel. I always love using it in coaching sessions. It's called reframing. So reframing is when we look at a situation and realize it's actually working out in our favor, or ask ourselves what's great about this. That's what reframing is. It's different from revision, because revision is a sense of acting or pretending like it didn't happen, right? Revision is your SP said, I don't want to hang out next Friday. Revision is assuming that they did say that. But this also, so this is kind of the funny thing, and that we're actually talking about cognitive dissonance. This actually produces more discomfort sometimes. If you are thinking, it's because your mind thinks there's two conflicting ideas, which is the basis of this discomfort that we're talking about here. If you feel as if you're not meeting up with your specific person next Friday, or you're pretending that you are, then it produces discomfort, because what you want and what you feel is your reality are different and against each other. But reframing is a way to go around that in a better way, because reframing is actually seeing your reality for what it is. Meaning, in this example, if your specific person says they can't hang out Friday, your mind could say, well, this is actually going to create an even better date that we'll have together. So you can see how the thought and assumption is in alignment with what you feel is your reality. And what I've found, this creates and changes our assumptions so much quicker. And I'll give you some more examples on this, but here's the step-by-step process that we want to do when we're reframing. So 1, we need to identify the negative narrative. Identify what is the problem. 2, challenge it. Challenge the existing perspective. So you want to challenge what your current thoughts are on it. 3, find lessons and strengths. So find out what's great about that. 4, craft a new narrative. So that's like when next Friday you are thinking, instead of us hanging out next Friday, it's actually giving life to a new and better date. That's crafting the new narrative. And then 5 is embracing and internalizing it. So really feeling and assuming and knowing, diving into this idea. So you know for a fact that literally, if you get your date canceled, your reality is giving you a better one. There's literally no way that it can't happen. It can't happen any other way, because your reality is always abundant, always positive. It's something that I always like to think about, because it's kind of like Neville Goddard discusses or talks of. He wrote this book and how you could see the world as like positive through pure eyes. And it's crazy how when you start to remember that your mind is then the assumption on the reality, everything is positive, everything is powerful, everything is working out in your favor, no matter what it is. So again, and I know sometimes it doesn't seem like that, everything is working out perfectly. Your reality is inherently positive. If you see anything negative or think something negative is happening, it's only an illusion. In the same way it talks about it in A Course in Miracles. Like, this idea has been game changing for me when I first heard of it and started implementing it. In the same way, darkness doesn't exist. Like, what you see as shadows, like in the background or around here, darkness isn't a thing. It's a lack of light. So your negative things in your reality are just a shadow that have a lack of your attention, which is the light on it and your assumption, okay? So I'll give you a couple more reframing ideas. So let's say, here's an idea before reframing. So my past relationship ended because I wasn't good enough, and now I'm afraid I'll never be loved the way I want to be. Maybe some of us are in this thought right now. So here would be a reframing idea. My past relationship taught me what I truly value in a partner and how I deserve to be treated. I am now better equipped to manifest the relationship that fulfills me. How awesome does that feel? And it's the same thing. I'll do one more. So before reframing, I always manifest the wrong people. There's something wrong with me. After reframing, each relationship has shown me more about who I am and what I really want. I'm now manifesting people who reflect the true me and my values. Same idea, but both of those feel very, very different. So this is how you are going to go from whatever your situation is. Because again, in the success story, they hadn't talking for a week or haven't spoken for a week. And actually this individual with this was like, if you guys remember videos and videos ago, I talk about like a holy grail manifestation. This was that same individual. So they are absolutely killing the game when it comes to manifestation, but this is something you can do as well. So literally within 13 seconds, 13 seconds. All you have to do is watch 13 seconds of the video, apparently, and you're going to manifest exactly what you want. I'll make sure, if I remember, to like link it here to the next video. So now that you watch this, go. Now that you've resolved this, reframe those ideas through that, 5-step process. Identify it, challenge it, find the positive, craft the narrative, embrace and internalize. Those are the 5 steps to creating anything you want so you can manifest in 13 seconds. Or, you know what, break the record and send me your success story. I'd absolutely love it. If you did have any questions on this, definitely leave them in the comment section below. Remember, you can also reach out to me on my website. If you want to send me a personal question or personal success that you didn't want to post here, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I can't wait to see you in my next video tomorrow.